On the back of that, let's go on Zoom and speak with parliamentary correspondent Kwesi Parker Wilson for more. Kwesi, thank you for joining us. Tell us more about the expected showdown in Parliament today. What can we look forward to?
In fact, the minority has promised that there's going to be a showdown today in Parliament. Now, let me just make it clear to our viewers that the committee that is expected to deliberate first on the matter is yet to sit, and that is the Finance Committee. In fact, last Friday, they were forced to suspend sitting to allow for broader consultation. And Ben, you remember that the telcos had issued a statement indicating that they had reduced their charges to about 0.25%. And so based on that, the minority wanted to engage them more, and also other CSOs, including individuals who had raised concerns about the E-Levy. And so the Finance Committee agreed that we're going to suspend the deliberation and then allow for broader consultation. So today, they will come sit first to deliberate on the matter and then put together a report, which will be submitted to the plenary for the members of the House to consider. But I must say that the minority leader, Haruna Iddrisu, has been clear in his mind. He's not changing position. He hasn't softened his stance. According to him, the minority is ready for the NPP. For them, it's a zero E-Levy. So whether the telcos have reduced their charges or not, the minority is of the view that the 1.75% would further impose hardship on the ordinary Ghanaian. And anything short of that, they will kick against it. So they are mobilizing their members, get them all 137 in the chamber to vote against the E-Levy. However, some of them have told me that the electorate or the citizenry should manage their expectations because they are 137 and the NPP is 138. Of course, 137 plus 1, meaning 138. So if they subject that controversial E-Levy to a debate and subsequently to a vote and they lose, they want Ghanaians to know that they fought hard, but the numbers didn't help them. However, the majority is still convinced in his mind that they are going to ensure, just as they approved the appropriation bill, they will do same with the E-Levy. So first of all, we'll start with the committee level. They are yet to meet. So when they meet, they'll put together a report and submit it to Parliament, where Parliament themselves will now have to decide whether to adopt the report or kick against it. But the minority is clear that they will kick against the E-Levy.
Okay, right before you take leave of us, Parker, I know it's going to be a game of numbers, and now we have the Speaker of Parliament back, so the Member of Parliament for Bekwai, Joseph Osei-Wusu, can, take a seat in Parliament. Do you know whether there are any absentees or expected absentees? I mean, is Sarah Adwa-Safo, for example, Member of Parliament for Dome Kwabenya, is she still in town? Can the NPP count on those numbers so that if it goes to that vote, they will actually sail through?
Yeah, so I can confirm to you that last Friday, I saw the Dominic Member of Parliament in the chamber. So she's in town. Well, today, Parliament advertised 10 a.m. as the sitting time, but Parliament is yet to begin proceedings. However, there are some NPP MPs who journeyed to Kumasi for their annual delegate conference. We are not clear as to those who are on their way back to Accra and those who will not. But I've checked with the majority caucus. I'm told by the whip that they are whipping all their members. In spite of where you are, you have to make sure you are in Parliament today. And I must say that the minority said they were going to ensure that the E-Levy goes through all the process, all the consideration stage, word for word, clause by clause, provision by provision. And so the NPP, if they do not have their numbers in the House, the minority obviously will win the day. And mind you, if there is a tie, the E-Levy itself will be lost. And so it is just a game of numbers, and it's +1 or -1. So if you have one vote than your opponent, you've won. If it is a tie, you've lost. If, again, your opponent has more votes than you, you've lost. So the NPP would have to ensure that all their 137 members are in Parliament, including their former MP, who is now independent candidate, who is working with the NPP. So for now, I cannot say for a fact whether all their members will be in the chamber, but I know that the whip has called all the 137 members of the NPP to ensure that they avail themselves today for the proceeding, because and they don't want the minority to spring a surprise on them. And so if they have all the numbers in the chamber, they'll be able to push through with the e-levy, just as they did with the appropriation. But the minority has made the point that, the appropriation gives you about over 40 billion Ghana cedis. What will 7 billion Ghana cedis do to you? Why don't you abandon that and then allow government to continue with this business and then generate the projected revenue of about 40 billion, which has been approved by Parliament for you for the year 2022. Why so fixated on the e-levy? But I'm sure yesterday you heard the majority leader when he was addressing some delegates in Kumasi that every member of Parliament needs roads, they need health facility, educational facilities, and it is the e-levy that is the solution to all of this problem. So without the e-levy, it appears that development in this country may stagnate if Parliament doesn't go ahead to approve the e-levy.
Well, it looks like it's going to be a very interesting day in Parliament. And Pakwesi, we're going to be with you all through. Thank you for bringing us the scoop. And that's my colleague, Pakwesi Parker Wilson, our parliamentary correspondent.